Good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. Welcome to the channel. What we're taking a look at today is K&N's cold air intake system. Does it really make power? We'll look at some of the facts. More importantly, and even more imperative, how does it sound and how does it make you feel? We're gonna find out today. In the last quarter of 2006, Chevrolet introduced what was to be the second generation of the Silverado. This particular model, the GMT 900 series, features Chevrolet's 5.3 liter Vortec V8 that puts out about 315 horsepower, 340 foot-pounds of torque, which in 2018 today's standard isn't a whole lot, but it does pack a good punch. Before we begin, we're going to take a quick look at the truck and see what's been done so far. Obviously, the truck is not stock. The truck has been leveled with Rough Country's 3.5-inch leveling kit, which essentially is a spacer on the top of the front struts. The truck also has some aftermarket wheel and tires. We have Moto Metals 962. They're 18-inch rims, 10 inches wide with a -24 offset, wrapped in Toyo Open Country RT. The size of these tires are 33 by 12.5 inches wide. I absolutely love the size of these wheels. I love the size of the tires, and I love the stance of the truck. Also, so far on the channel, we've done a full paint correction, as well as a matte black wrap on the roof. If you want to see any of those videos, go ahead and click the link on my channel and go check them out. There's probably only 2 or 3 of those on the island, the Corvette Z06. The Honda S2000, there's too many. So that was pretty cool. All right, guys, I apologize. We are driving to a new location. Apparently, I chose the busiest back road on the island of Oahu. Okay, so we are back in the Lonestar Hawaiian garage. I apologize for that brief intermission. New GoPro. We went to the beach. It was a beautiful day, as you can see with my complexion, got a little bit of red, but we are back to the intake. Now let's take a quick look at the stock intake that comes stock with a 5.3 liter V8. So here we have the stock airbox and intake tube from the truck. Now I am certain there's a reason for all of these random accessories on this intake tube. Reason being, just not completely sure. The stock airbox also got the filter. This is where the air comes in, goes through the airbox, through the air filter, into the intake tube, into the intake of the motor. Now what K&N does, which is nice, it basically simplifies this entire process from point A to point B. It delivers the coolest air possible, as well as increasing that air efficiency, meaning more air into the motor with less resistance. I'm certain the stock airbox works just fine. We've had trucks in my family that have lasted well over 200,000 miles with the stock airbox on. There's nothing wrong with these. K&N just does it a little bit better. And speaking of the K&N, let's go ahead and take a look. Cue the glamour shots. So here we have it, the K&N cold air intake system for the 5.3 liter Vortec V8 in this 07 Silverado. For all intensive purposes of the video, I've previously unbolted the heat shield. So we pulled the lid off the heat shield, great quality material. Helps to keep out a lot of that hot air that resides in the engine bay. And here we have it, the high flow intake filter from K&N. Now this system drastically reduces the amount of restriction, which allows the motor to inhale more air more efficiently, which results in more power. Now let's get into the cold air portion. Why is that important? Why does cold air supposedly make more power? We're going to use the example of water to begin with. If you've ever been free diving or ever been in a deep pool, you'll notice the deeper you go, the denser the water is. You'll feel it in your ears, and at a certain point you'll need to pressurize. Now you'll also notice the deeper you go in that water, the cooler the water is, or cooler the temperature. Same goes for air, and what I mean by that, the cooler the air, the more dense the air molecules. The cooler the air and the more dense the molecules, you have more oxygen molecules within a set volume of air. So as the motor intakes air, if the air is cooler, that means there's more oxygen molecules in that set volume. The more oxygen molecules in that set volume, the more powerful the combustion cycle, which translates to more power. So what's nice about these K&N cold air intake systems is the heat shield and where it's located in the engine bay. Some of that cooler air that's coming up and under the truck is being inhaled by the motor. Now that air is much, much cooler than the air that's stagnant inside the engine bay. Because of that, you have more oxygen molecules in that set volume inside the cylinder. When it ignites, the more powerful that combustion cycle, it translates to the crankshaft, which goes to the transmission, runs down the drive shaft, and essentially out the rear wheels. Now, what kind of power does this thing put down? What type of increases can we expect with this particular system and this 5.3 liter V8? Now, what I thought was really cool about my kit, and I'll put it up on the screen here, K&N provides a dyno chart of a before and after of a vehicle with the same powertrain as yours. Now this particular one was a before and after of a 5.3 liter GMC Yukon. Prior to the cold air intake, this vehicle produced 249, call it 250 horsepower and 266 foot-pounds of torque. Now after the install, they did another dyno run and it ran 267 horsepower and 285 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's 17, nearly 18 additional horsepower, nearly 19 additional foot-pounds of torque with a simple bolt-on cold air intake. Now I thought this was a really cool touch by K&N to provide a dyno chart of a before and after on a vehicle with the same powertrain. Now this leads me to my last and final point, and to me the most important point of the entire video. How does this intake system sound? And how does it make you feel? Pretty damn good. Cylinder symphony. Love it. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you're looking at a cold air intake system, I highly recommend K&N's. They've been around for a while and they seem to not be going anywhere soon. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. We are a relatively new YouTube channel. We are growing pretty quickly and I'm very happy with that, and I'm happy to continue to provide the exciting content that I can with this truck currently and possibly with some additional vehicles someday. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. We have a lot more coming out soon. Any questions or comments, leave them below, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Aloha, and we will see you next time. My wife just agreed if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I have the green light to go purchase power tools.